From the moment Rita and Amara met in secondary school, it was as if God had joined them together as sisters. They shared everything: textbooks, clothes, secrets, even crushes. People used to call them twins, born from different wombs. But deep within Rita's heart, something bitter had always been hiding. Amara was beautiful, effortlessly. Where Rita used filters, Amara glowed. Where Rita begged for attention, Amara received it without trying. Men would pass Rita by and fall over themselves for Amara, even though Rita was the one who introduced them. Rita never complained, she smiled. She clapped when Amara sang. She complimented her outfits. She even helped her curl her hair before parties. But deep down, she was boiling like water on fire. Everything became worse when Chike came into the picture. Chike was the one man Rita believed was her destiny. He was tall, dark, gentle and successful. Rita had planned everything, from how she would meet him to how she would charm him. But fate slapped her across the face when Chike walked into a conference and saw Amara standing beside Rita. He didn't see Rita, he only saw Amara. And like every other time, Amara innocently smiled and didn't resist when he asked for her number. 6 months later, they were engaged. Amara told Rita with excitement, jumping like a child. She even showed her the ring, the same style Rita had once described in one of their many girls' night chats. "It's just like the one you like, right?" Amara had asked genuinely. Rita smiled, a sharp, white, fake smile. "It's beautiful," she said, "just like you." But in her heart, she swore, "If I can't have him, you won't have peace." Preparations for the wedding began. Rita was chosen as the maid of honor. She helped with fittings, decorations, and even carried the wedding gown from the designer shop to Amara's house. It was that gown that broke her. Rita stared at it one evening when she was alone in Amara's house. It hung gracefully in the corner of the room. A pearly white off-shoulder lace trimmed masterpiece. It looked like royalty. It looked like a gown for the bride of Rita's dream man. Rita touched the sleeve. She clenched her fists. She swallowed hard. Then tears began to fall, not from pain but from hate. 2 nights before the wedding, Amara called Rita. Her voice was filled with joy. "Rita, my sister, are you excited? Just 2 more days and I'll be Mrs. Chike. I have never been this happy in my life. Promise me you will sleep here tomorrow night so we can wake up together on my big day." Rita paused, her voice cold. "I will be there," she said, "but don't be too excited. Life sometimes surprises us." Then she hung up. That night, Rita returned to Amara's house alone, holding a gallon of fuel in her hand. Her hands trembled, her legs shook, but her heart was determined. She opened the wardrobe, she pulled out the gown. She poured the fuel gently, like an artist painting hatred on a canvas. She struck the match and whispered, "You can wear makeup, but you will never wear this gown to the altar." The fire danced with glee, consuming the fabric, lace and dreams. As Rita watched it burn, her lips curved in a smile. She didn't just burn the gown, she burnt a friendship. But what Rita didn't know was that she just opened a gate she would never be able to close. The next morning, birds sang and the sun rose peacefully. But inside Amara's family compound, chaos thundered like a storm. A scream sliced through the early morning calm. It was Amara. "My wedding gown! Jesus! Who did this? Who did this to me?" She fell to the floor, clutching the half-burnt zipper that remained like a cursed souvenir. Her mother ran in and froze. Her father stood by the door speechless. The once beautiful gown had been reduced to ashes, and the room still smelled of kerosene. Everyone was shouting. The bride price had been paid. The hall had been booked Food was already cooking in the village compound. The whole community was buzzing with expectations. The wedding was supposed to be in less than 24 hours. Now, it was like a funeral. Who had access to this room? Amara's uncle backed. Only me, my mother, and Rita. Amara replied, her voice shaky. Rita? Your best friend? Her mother asked, confused. Your maid of honor? Yes, but she could never. Amara, her father interrupted. Has she ever shown you signs of jealousy? Amara's eyes blinked. Flashbacks hit her like thunderclaps. How Rita always went silent whenever Chike was mentioned. How Rita's smile never reached her eyes when she saw the ring. How Rita once asked, are you sure Chike really loves you? How Rita avoided standing beside the gown when it arrived. Her hands trembled. Her heart was pounding now. She reached for her phone and dialed Rita's number. It rang, no answer. Again, no answer. A third time, still nothing. Rita was gone. Meanwhile, Rita sat in her own room, staring blankly at her ceiling fan. Her phone was on silent. Her mind was far away. She expected to feel relief. She expected to feel satisfaction. Instead, she felt empty. 1,000 scenarios ran through her mind. What if they replaced the gown? What if Amara still got married? What if someone saw her? What if she lost her only friend, the one person who loved her purely? She rubbed her chest and shook her head. She had everything. She didn't need him to, she whispered. Then came the knock. Bang, bang, bang. Open this door, Rita. It was Chike's voice, firm, angry, wounded. She froze. Her hand reached for the door knob, but stopped. How did he find out? Rita, you betrayed her. His voice cracked. You burned her dreams because of what? Jealousy. Tears welled in Rita's eyes. Chike's voice softened, almost like a final judgment. You didn't just destroy a gown. You destroyed a decade of trust. Rita opened the door, face soaked in tears. I am sorry. She whispered, but it sounded hollow. Do you know what hurts the most? Chike said, eyes burning. She still told us not to press charges. She still called you her friend. Rita collapsed on the floor. She broke into sobs. Her chest heaved with the pain of guilt she thought she would never feel. Back at the compound, the news spread like wildfire. People were divided. Some called Rita a witch in disguise. Others said she was simply a broken girl unloved by life. But Amara sat quietly in her room, holding the ashes in a transparent bag. She didn't cry anymore. She looked stronger, almost glowing with peace. Replace the gown, she said calmly, but don't hate Rita. She is hurting more than I ever will. Her mother blinked in confusion. You want to still wear white tomorrow? No, Amara replied. I will wear gold because out of this betrayal, I have found my worth. The wedding day. People came in multitudes, and when Amara walked in, not in a white gown, but in shimmering gold, the entire hall stood in awe. She was no longer just a bride. She was a woman who rose from ashes. And Rita, she watched from afar, hidden behind tinted glass in a cab, tears silently streaming down her face as she saw the love of her life marry the woman she destroyed, yet couldn't break. Weeks had passed since the golden wedding that shook the town. Amara and Chike had gone on their honeymoon and returned to a fresh start. People still whispered about the betrayal, but Amara had silenced every rumor with her grace. She never publicly condemned Rita. She simply moved on, stronger, wiser, glowing with forgiveness. But Rita, she couldn't move on. Her phone rang less. People avoided her. Her job became unbearable. Even the mirror didn't smile back at her anymore. The night she burned that wedding gown, she didn't just lose her best friend, she lost her peace, her dignity, and her sense of self. One evening, Rita stood outside Amara's gate holding a small note and a box. She knocked once, twice. Amara opened. They stared at each other. No words, just pain and memories. Rita knelt on the floor and stretched out the box. Her voice trembled. I bought you a new gown. The exact design, same shop, same size. I know it's late, but I needed to do this for you, for me. Tears rolled down Amara's cheeks, but her lips smiled. I already forgave you the moment I wore gold, Amara whispered. Rita broke into tears, not the tears of guilt anymore, but of freedom. She had finally found what jealousy had stolen: peace. They hugged, and that hug became the first brick in rebuilding a friendship once destroyed by envy. Moral lessons from this story. Jealousy is a slow fire that burns the bearer first. What Rita did to Amara ended up burning her soul more deeply than the gown ever burned. 2. True love and true friendship can forgive but never forget the lessons. Amara shows forgiveness, not foolishness. She didn't forget, but she moved forward with strength. 3. When you compete with someone who's not competing with you, you will destroy yourself. Rita saw Amara as a rival, but Amara never saw her as one. She only saw a friend. 4. Never fight destiny. If it is yours, it will come. If not, no amount of sabotage will make it yours. 5th, grace always wins over hatred. Amara's peace, silence and forgiveness became more powerful than Rita's act of revenge. Dear beloved viewers, thank you so much for following this emotional and powerful story to the end. Your time, your engagement and your love mean everything to me. If you have ever battled with jealousy, rejection or betrayal, let this story remind you. You don't have to fight others to shine. You don't need to compete to be special. And most importantly, you are enough just as you are. Please like, share and subscribe for more soul-touching stories filled with real emotions and deep life lessons. See you in the next powerful tale. Much love, your storyteller.